Now, when you look at these two people, that is why I put their two pictures in my background, okay? When you look at these two people, these two men, Nnamdi and Burkina Faso, how come they were able to pay off the whole debt their nation is owing within few years? How come? Ask yourself question. What do they have that you don't have? Gold, uranium, oil, tin? Mention what they have that you don't have times 100. Is it population, human resources? Why is it that they were able to pay off their debts? And nations like Nigeria is still borrowing. To the extent as I speak to you now, almost all the whole Nigeria citizen, everybody in that geographical area, you are owing about ₦1 million. Everybody, you are owing ₦1 million with the statistic of the amount of money we have borrowed so far. They have borrowed, not we. Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining me in this video. In this particular video, I want us to discuss something that is very important. This is not a news, but this is a very important discussion. Yeah, that was this afternoon. I was thinking about something, and what could that be? How many years do we still have on earth? Because a lot of people think that when they die, that is where the whole world ends. They don't think about their children. They don't think about the future of their children's children. They don't think about how their generation is going to be. Stay with me. Now, the reason why I am coming from this angle is because when I look at Africans, especially Nigerians in quotes, when I look at our lives, with no exemption of anybody, when I look at our lives, I keep on thinking whether we really understand that we will have children and our children will still have children. And they will have generations to come, up to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 years to come, as the case may be. Now, I want to ask you a question. With the current things going on in your village, with the current situation going on in your town, do you think that your children or your children's children will live in the same world or will have a place to call their own? I'm just asking you an honest question. Just settle down and ponder about this. Do you think that with all these things going on, that your children's children will have a place to call their own? In a situation at the moment, your parents can't go to their farm in peace. Do you think your children's children will have a place to call their own? There is a problem I see among us, including myself. That is, we don't read history. We don't read history. If you understand your lineage, what happens to your father, what happens to your past, forefathers, and you look around you, you will know what is going to happen to your children's children. It will be difficult for us to leave a place called a home for our children with all these things going on. Because before they will come, with the way we are behaving today, paying death to have all abnormalities going on, because we are just fighting for money, we are just doing business, we forget there is a life after business. That is the life you are going to live for your children. The president of Syria and so many people that they have ousted, that they have killed, that they have chased away, they never knew that a day of reckoning would come. Now, the rate of insecurity in Nigeria is not normal insecurity. It's not a normal insecurity. Now, what Nigeria is experiencing, Nnamdi experienced it, Burkina Faso experienced it. But the difference between Nigeria's situation and Burkina Faso situation is that the past president that they overthrown, someone overthrown the person before Ibrahim Traore took over from another military man again. The man was working with the UN and France to make Burkina Faso a safe haven for terrorists. Burkina Faso was almost taken over before the Traore, this young man, now came. Now, when you look at these two people, that is why I put their two pictures in my background, okay? When you look at these two people, these two men, Nnamdi and Burkina Faso, how come they were able to pay off the whole debt their nation is owing within few years? How come? Ask yourself question. What do they have that you don't have? Gold, uranium, oil, tin? Mention what they have that you don't have times 100. Is it population, human resources? Why is it that they were able to pay off their debts? And nations like Nigeria is still borrowing. To the extent as I speak to you now, almost all the whole Nigeria citizen, everybody in that geographical area, you are owing about ₦1 million. Everybody, you are owing ₦1 million with the statistic of the amount of money we have borrowed so far. They have borrowed, not we. So, I begin to ponder what is going on. Ever since they cut ties with France, they saw the gain. Many countries follow suit, Senegal, Ivory Coast. They are cutting ties because they discovered that this is a bondage. I was asking a question before that where you have American military base, France military base in Niger, and you see terrorists having that place like a safe haven, you know that something is wrong. Now back to what I am saying. You know, this life, everybody has their own opinion. In psychology, there is this Abraham Maslow's. His theory is all about, the level of needs. When you don't have shelter, you can hardly talk about fame. When you have not eaten, you don't have food at all, you can't even talk about maybe having a wife or having a child, because the first thing you need, you have to eat because you are dying. So all this terrorism that are sponsored by people in power in Nigeria, they are very, very good strategists. Very, very good strategists. The way they are disrupting the polity, the way they are coming in, they first of all go to your farmlands and seize your farm. This year, I wonder what people are going to harvest because they did not plant last year. All right. So these people, they are master strategists. They go to farm in the rural areas, they seize your farm. Now, after seizing your farm, the target is that let these people go hunger. Time will come. Let me just tell you the reason why the bandits are seizing your farm. They started it from the north. It worked for them. In the north, after seizing their farm, the farmers have to come now and pay tax to allow for the bandits to allow them to farm. You need to pay tax for the bandits to allow you to farm. That is what they are doing in the north. That is what they want to replicate in the south. That is why they are in the bush now. And we have already started, we have started paying the tax indirectly. Now, this is what I mean. In my village, most of the time, and the neighboring village, if people are going to farm, especially to cut this oil palm, this thing, because maybe it will be a very large plantation. If you leave it like that, money will waste. You have to pay like 100,000 to vigilante groups or 50,000 to vigilante groups for them to follow you. Like 6 people will follow you there for you to do that. They will make sure that if anybody comes, it will be fight to fight, war to war. That is the only way. So we are already paying the tax indirectly. So they want to seize the farm. There will be hunger. You can't go to farm till where you said, no, let us go and negotiate with these people. And once you start paying their tax, they will start annexing your territories. They can start using it to build houses in the farm. That quarter will become their own. Give them 10 years. They will have emir in your village. Take it over. This thing can take like 30 to 40 years. It doesn't matter. They will do it. Now, the problem I have with people that talks too much, especially we from the old Eastern region, we talk too much at times. And when you talk too much, you don't strategize. You don't have strategy at all. See, all these people, I like one thing about them, and that is what I'm saying. They learn how to plan for the future. See, when I mean plan for the future, these people, if they said all the whole state in Nigeria, we turn to Sharia state, all the whole state in Nigeria, we fall under them, it will be difficult for them, especially the Southeast will be difficult too, but they will go far. The reason why I say they will go far is that they are not in a hurry and they don't talk much. They have their master plan written down. What will happen next 50 years? What will happen next 50 years? Now, they have already, see, for us, we think that everything is all about present. Let us talk what is happening now. Let us do this thing now. We need to map out plans. We need to do so many things. You need to plan ahead and understand that your children are coming. Your children are coming. There is a China language, a China word. They use it to make a sentence. What it means is that, let me eat it bitter for the sake of my children. Let me eat it bitter for the sake of my children. People who understand Chinese culture, they will know what I'm talking about. What it means is that anytime you come to life, make sure you eat the bitter part of that life so that your children will not come and eat the bitter part. I think my father did not do enough. Your father did not do enough. That is why we are doing this. If they have done enough, I don't think we'll be in this position doing all these things. To the extent that you are afraid you can't move an inch, we are now living in bondage. Living in bondage. I will encourage so many of us, if you can go and read, there is a book they call In Biafra, Africa Died. In Biafra, Africa Died. Yeah. Go and look for the book and read. Read Why We Struck. It's a story of Nigeria first military coup. Why we struck. Read In Biafra, Africa Died. Go and read Chinua Achebe, There Was a Country. Read all this book and know where we are today. Most of us are making a big mistake. A lot of us are making a big mistake. Everything is not giri giri gara gara. Too much gara gara, no good. You will think you are somewhere, but when you look at your diagram, you know that people have taken you over. I'm just trying to use some figurative expression so that people who will really ponder on what I'm saying will understand what I'm saying. I don't want to say things direct. But it's going to be difficult for our children, the way things are going. And that is why we are doing what we are doing. That is why we are doing what we are doing. I can still remember when my dad was alive, when he was telling me how he escaped during the war, when they came to kill him. Where is that Igbo man? Today, so many people from my place, if you start to say they are not Igbos. If something happened today in Nigeria, and you are from Delta North, they will still kill you. They will still kill you. They will count you as all this part. You know Ezogun? Nzogun. He's from Delta North. He's from Anioma, Okmana to be precise. So when you read history, you understand what is going on today. There is a big problem. A big problem. Because we are chasing money, the government is not okay. Everybody just don't have time for the mess that is going on. Look at our neighboring countries. Ordinary Benin Republic, Ghana, Togo. Look at Burkina Faso. Look at they are progressing. No time for nonsense. No time for nonsense. Anyway, I hope you understand the context of this video, because it is not going to be okay if we continue to play blind to the reality that is before us.